I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
We made it to Friday. Look at us.
I
know, right? Here we are. It is Friday, you guys. Let me tell you what's coming up on today's show. The House passes a budget bill resolution. We're going to break that down just a little bit for you. Jasmine Crockett is talking again. And a Baltimore high school student is suspended for asking where the American flags are, because this is where we are as a country. All that and so much more coming up on today's show. You guys can reach us on all the socials, all the places. It's www.chicksontheright.com. Don't forget that www.chicksontheright.com/links. Also, please subscribe to this podcast if you haven't done that already. And say hello to Chad. He is here again today. Thank you, Chad.
Oh, it's great being here. We're having fun.
I know. And
Friday,
saying hello
like
to everybody.
Year of the week.
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
Feels like the longest year of the week.
It really has been.
Like
it's been.
Every day is forever.
It's been a week. It definitely has been a week. Okay. I also need to mention PragerU. Do we have the little Prager? There you go. You guys, it's the last day. I think today is the last day to do it, to visit PragerU.com/chicks and enter to win $10,000. Take the civics quiz. Do it. You guys know you can do it. I want one of our people to win this so badly. Mock and I both. So test your knowledge of America. Do it. PragerU.com/chicks. Win. Okay. Yesterday, the House passed the SAVE Act. And if you guys don't know what the SAVE Act is, it's basically the voter ID thing. Okay. So it was a vote of 220 to 208, 4 Democrats voting in favor. The bill aims to prevent non-citizens from voting by requiring proof of citizenship for voter registration. Yes, there you go. There's all the info there on the screen. Libs are mad because they want illegal voters, basically. They want illegals to vote so they can actually have voters. And they say that married women are disenfranchised somehow because we don't know how to get ID.
Well,
people
your
of color. Is that I've never had a problem getting, I'm married and I've never had a problem getting, that's like one of the first things I did after I got married was I went and got a new ID. Why is this hard?
I don't know.
Why?
You know what I would say? Hey guys, you got to go get an ID. You want everybody to get an ID? Make it easier to go to the DMV and get a damn ID. Make it a more pleasant experience. But the name change thing is the dumbest thing in the world. That's what they're saying is, well, you know, women get married. Now there's 70 million women who are disenfranchised.
I'm not disenfranchised. You have to have an ID to get Sudafed, you know?
DNA. It's like going to get 23andMe. You got to like spit in a cup. You got to use your finger. There's a retinal thing. Now I can buy Sudafed because they think I'm going to take it and cook it in my bathtub.
This is the thing. But then Democrats are like, you shouldn't have to have it to vote. You should. You should have to have it to vote. So they're super mad. Everybody's pissed off about that. But you know, it's happened. So the House passed the SAVE Act. That happened yesterday, just FYI. Also, Idaho, they have banned vaccine mandates in schools and businesses in a first of its kind medical freedom bill. This is kind of cool. So it's called the Idaho Medical Freedom Act. Idaho's doing some stuff. We talked about them on Monday too. You guys remember the Idaho governor? We talked about it this, past Monday. They talked about the whole death penalty for pedophiles.
That's right.
Right. It's now they have this Medical Freedom Act. It bars private businesses, schools, and government entities from denying admission or services to a person for not having received a medical intervention, including a vaccine procedure or medication. They're the first state to do this, to outlaw vaccine mandates in both public and private sectors. Look at Idaho doing the things.
Doing the thing. Are people not?
They're doing the things.
The vaccines. It's
sure. It's not even that they're saying don't get the vaccines. They're just saying don't mandate in public and private sectors. It's kind of like, my husband I worked in pharma for 20 something years. My husband worked in pharma. He's now retired. But I remember, like, you know, when they mandated it at his company, they mandated the vaccine, and that did not sit well with me.
No.
I don't like it when private companies are like, you got to do this, you got to. Nope. If I would have been working there at the time that he was working there, I would have been like, I quit. I'm not doing it. I'm out of here. Bye. And same thing goes for like the radio station that we used to work for. If they would have mandated a vaccine, if I had stayed at that radio station and they were kind of getting to that point, I would have been like, see ya, bye-bye. Because you don't get to do that with men.
No. Well, it's, again, your body, your choice, right? That's the way it is. The difference is, you know, if you did get something, could you spread it to someone else? Is always the thought. But this is one of those debates that will always go on and on and on and on. It'll never end because you're going to have more things that crop up in the future, and there's going to be more issues. There's going to be a vaccine that gets out for this or a vaccine gets out for that. And it's a frustrating thing because we allowed politics to get into science and not have an opportunity to question things. And now people are either pro this or anti that rather than go, let me do some research and then I'll go from there.
Yeah, exactly. And public health has taken such a hit now.
Oh,
like
they did that to themselves.
Yeah, they did it to themselves. They absolutely did. So
when you get into that position of the FDA or the CDC, you're no longer a medical expert. You're a politician that knows about medical things, whatever you were, a doctor, this, that, and the other, but you're a politician first. And so you play political first before you play anything else.
It should be about the science. And it wasn't about the science. It was about politics, which is not the way it should be. So that's that. Also, the FBI has released the Crossfire Hurricane files, 700 pages, you guys, redacted. I did not read them between last night. I'm waiting for the Cliff's Notes on those. Musical. Yeah, the musical.
They came for Trump.
Peter Strzok, the musical. Y'all you're going to see a ton of stuff come out about that, I'm sure, over the next few days, especially on X. But in the meantime, I would like to remind you how creepy Peter Strzok is. Behold.
Investigative decision. There are multiple layers of people above me, the assistant director, executive assistant director, deputy director, and director of the FBI, and multiple layers of people below me, section chiefs, supervisors, unit chiefs, case agents, and analysts, all of whom were involved in all of these decisions.
Seriously, look at his face.
He's very angry.
He's not, look, he's evil. His face is like, he's like a Marvel villain.
He looks like he's a fun ruiner. He's the guy that would try to catch, Ferris Bueller.
Oh my God, that guy would try to lure you in a car. He's not okay. There's something so not okay about that dude. So anyways, he's creepy. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out about that. I'm sure we're going to be talking about that next week. Just because there's just all sorts of intricacies, specifics that I cannot talk to you about today without I just can't in specificity. I can't do that this morning.
Massive. You know, when they release these things, they're like, all right, 700 pages, have at it. You're like, oh, really?
At midnight. Yeah, I can't. So I can't speak in specifics this morning. However, I'm sure we'll be talking a little bit more about it next week. But there's also a movie about General Flynn that's coming out, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I think this is like somewhat of a trailer for that.
That's what I think most people are mad about when they think about Michael Flynn's case, why they're outraged. So how would you not be mad at that? You'd be mad at that if you saw it in a movie. You'd say a good movie would make you feel the injustice, right? If you're sitting, with a bag of popcorn and I can't believe this. This is terrible what they're doing to this guy, and you're watching it on a screen. Wow. And that's what I think most people are mad about. The hero should be celebrated. It's a very full story in that way. It's a story that's supposed to resonate with Americans because the best of what our culture and society does is it trains us to admire honorable people. And so when someone is treated like an enemy of the state, this goes against everything that we are educated to believe or know about the world.
So this is making the rounds again. Like there's just all sorts of stuff that's going around on Twitter. X, So you guys just, you'll see a lot more of that over the next, few days, I'm sure. And when it comes to Crossfire Hurricane, do I think that anybody's going to be held accountable? No, I have no faith. I'm very jaded. Is that terrible? That terrible?
I'm very jaded too with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
But I also, it's like, okay, everybody's like, well, you got to hold people accountable. Politics and politicians rarely hold themselves accountable, even if they've done something wrong, because everybody expects I may do something wrong in the future and you're not really going to hold me accountable either. So it's so much, it feels very show busy and it feels very disappointing because they would hold us all accountable, but they never hold their own accountable.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like, if I don't pay my taxes, I go straight to jail. You know what I mean? But but they're not held accountable for anything. All right. So I need to quickly talk to you guys about Aura. You guys know Aura, our sponsor, Aura. Aura. Yes. They need a song, Chad. Aura. Your personal data can be exposed and naked in a hot minute, you guys. It could be exposed right now. It could be naked right this second, which is why you need Aura. They have your back. No matter what. They are the all-in-one digital security solution that keeps your personal information safe from hackers, scammers, and all the bad people that look like Peter Strzok. They automatically scan the dark web. They block data brokers from selling your information. They alert you to all the bad things that are going on. They did that with me. I had like 4 instances that they helped me with within like a half hour. And right now, you can check out aura.com/chicks to get access for only $12 a month after a 14-day free trial. If you're not new here, you know that they found those instances on my, personal information. And I swear I had no idea. I was like, oh my God, I've locked everything down. No, not the case. Not the case. All you got to do is check out aura.com/chicks. You get a 14-day free trial. You're going to get real-time monitoring, identity security. You're going to be alerted in minutes if your credit file has been compromised. They have antivirus for malware, password manager, or safeguard your information with the same standards as banks and the military, and they're never going to sell your data to a third party. So sign up at aura.com/chicks. Get it for $12 a month. After the 2-week trial, that's less than coffees, you guys. That's aura.com/chicks. Claim that offer. Today is Red Friday. And I am not one for made up days. Like people will be like, it's Cinnabon Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Sounds like a good day, Cinnabon Tuesday.
I would actually be excited about that too. But today is Red Friday, and it stands for Remembering All Deployed.
Okay.
So so I can get on board with that. So if you're into, celebrating days, I don't know. It says Remembering All Deployed. It should be Rad Friday, but it says it's Red Friday. So
is it remembering every?
It may be remembering every deployed, but I read that it was remembering all deployed. Anyways, whatever. Just remember the deployed.
It's red or rad.
It's red or rad. Remember. Yeah. We should just remember them. Yeah. So definitely do that. And we are not going to talk much about tariffs today because I am sick of it.
Well, G just talked about tariffs.
Who is?
G. He just tweeted for the first time. Yep.
Did he? Oh my God. What did he tweet? Can you tell us?
He broke his silence. He said there will be no winners and China is not afraid because they bumped their tariffs up to 125% a little while
ago. I was going to say that. Yeah. And it's effective tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So there we go. The party's on.
All right. So that was going to be the big update for the day. So Xi is tweeting now.
He is, or we're having somebody tweet for him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's that. That's it. That's all we're going to talk about when it comes to tariffs today, you guys, because I can't deal. Okay. We got to cover the airplane stuff and the helicopter stuff, you guys. All the aircraft stuff. Okay. So first, 2 American airline planes clipped wings at Reagan National in DC, and no injuries were reported. One plane was taxiing, the other was preparing for takeoff. Passengers, including, I think there were a couple members of Congress.
4. There were 4 members.
4? Wow. They were all safely evacuated, which is good. That's great that nobody was hurt. But because it was at DCA and because we had, a Black Hawk crash into a plane months ago, I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
Yes.
right? There are people looking at this going, I don't feel safe. What the hell's going on at DCA? What the hell's going on with our airlines? And we have a news report just in case you were under a rock and you missed it yesterday.
Airlines, regional jets, they clipped wings, it appears, as one of them was getting ready to depart for JFK Airport in New York. The other one, not sure what its destination was at this point. No injuries, and we do not have any sort of a police or fire response. American Airlines is confirming, in fact, that 2 planes clipped wings. Now, listen, normally this would not be that newsworthy, except it is Reagan Airport. And Reagan Airport, as you know, has had a host of issues and problems, including, of course, the midair crash over the Potomac River back in January. Then they had a very close call a couple of weeks ago when another military aircraft flew very, very close to a departing flight. Then they've had a fight in the control tower with a supervisor arrested for allegedly punching another controller. And then in the last week, the FAA has come in and replaced 3 controller supervisors inside that tower because of the ongoing concerns about what's happening at Reagan Airport, specifically as it relates to the control tower. So now we have this report confirmed by people I'm talking to who are on the plane, as well as a congressman who's on the plane, and American Airlines, that 2 planes clipped wings at Reagan Airport. One of those planes is now headed back to the terminal. Again, no injuries, thankfully, but it underscores the ongoing concern about safety and what's happening at Reagan Airport in particular, but then, of course, at the nation's airports with understaffed control towers nationwide. Chris?
We know you have many choices to taxi down a runway with. Thank you for flying American Eagle, or thank you for taxiing with American Eagle.
Right. I mean, of course, that was MSNBC saying well, they're understaffed and they're going to try to, people are going to
be an issue there. And they may, but they're all understaffed because we're not producing enough people to handle the load that we have. And the other thing is, if you know anything about air traffic control, it takes a while to get the gig. It's a tough gig. You've got a finite time that you can do it. And so many of these places it's like the 1950s in some areas. It's the 2000s. Planes are getting more sophisticated while the air traffic control is staying stagnant in their technology. They're still using paper in certain places where they move. It's crazy.
It's government, right? I mean, it's like it's bureaucracy. It's like a lot of the same that we've seen across the board. So it says NDEI, people don't want to talk about that, but it is, there's a lot of DEI in place too, where some of the people that are, that are in these positions probably shouldn't be in these positions. I always, listen, I'm going to get to it in just a second because there's a really great clip that I will play that hopefully will be positive. We'll walk away with something positive. But when I see my pilots, it's like, Miriam always says she wants to see a Sully, and I'm the same way. I want to see some old dude flying the plane.
Have you ever seen Family Guy when Quagmire takes them all on the airplane and Cleveland goes, "What's this red button?" He goes, "Oh, that red button. When you didn't talk into the microphone, it makes you sound like a 57-year-old Midwestern white man."
No.
And so he pushes the button, and Cleveland, who's the black character, starts saying something like, "Hey, y'all," and it's like, "Good afternoon, everybody."
And then it comes up,
you're back there.
Yeah, I mean, I want somebody who's old. That's how I feel about my doctors too. I don't know. My husband,
old, but
older. I want him to be old like me. I'm old. I
will tell you, I've been on a couple of planes where I'm like, she and him, they're in their mid-20s. I'm not sure I'm really excited about this.
Right. My husband's going to have knee surgery and I'm like, how old's your doctor? He's like in his 30s. And I'm like, are you sure you want that to happen? I mean, this is the thing. When you get to the age where you're like, anybody who's younger than you it kind of freaks me out. But at the same time, everybody's younger than us now. So what are you going to do? And the same thing goes for planes. So, okay, you guys, the helicopter, this is like after the DCA collision yesterday, a helicopter went down in the Hudson. This was so awful. It killed a family of 5. There was mom, dad, 3 precious little kids, and they were from Spain. I think they were visiting on vacation and they were celebrating one of the little girls' birthdays. Oh my I just hate the story so much. They were taking a tour of Manhattan. So the propeller was basically detached from it was like essentially the helicopter was split in two.
Yeah.
And there were
you could see in the video stuff splashing before the fuselage hit the water.
Yeah, there was video and I could show it to you, but I don't want to. I mean, if you want to see the video, you guys can go find the video because it's everywhere and we're not going to show it here. So
have you ever been on a helicopter?
I have. I did a helicopter ride in Alaska one time in my 20s because I was an idiot and I do idiotic things in my 20s. And I look back on that and I'm like, why did I do that? I would never do that now.
My buddy who I play soccer with, he's a pilot now, but he was a helicopter pilot in the military. And he's telling me all the time, it's not if, but when.
Yeah.
You're going to go down at some point in time.
Right.
And most of the times they're hard landings or something, but you will go down at some point in time.
I just don't think that they're safe. Yeah. And a lot of regular pilots of planes will say, I'm not getting on a helicopter.
Yeah.
So I just would not do that. Anyway, I need to balance all the air awfulness with a good air story. So this is the one I was talking about. This pilot, he is retiring after 34 years from American Airlines, and his wife and his family, they're on board to celebrate with him. And I just love this so much, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
In the U.S. Navy, and then the last 34 and some change flying for American Airlines. We're on this final flight, so let's all have a good time and celebrate this wonderful career. And I love you so much. Our daughter Kennedy is going to be passing around some treats for everybody. We've got family and friends on board, so let's rock this jet.
Okay, that's precious, right?
I got to be honest with you. Have you ever seen that comic talk about, you don't need to tell me this is your final flight?
Stop. Seriously, though, that's so cute. I think that's precious. Like the whole family was there. But did you see how gray he was? Like,
yeah, that's what you're looking for right there.
Just enough salt and pepper where I'm like, that's the kind of pilot that I want.
That's the guy where if your wings fall off, he's like, it's going to be a rough landing and we're going to be fine. We're going to be about 3 minutes late. Sorry about that.
Exactly. 34 years. I feel like he knows what the hell he's doing. All right. Okay. So that hopefully made everybody feel just like a little bit better. And it's also American Airlines, which they've been having a rough go, right? Okay, you guys, Mission Impossible, just to switch gears here a little bit, the Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, it comes out May 23rd. I have not seen all of these movies. I've seen some of them because I feel like they're all kind of the same. But Tom Cruise, okay, I know he's a Scientology whack job, but he does not get the credit I think he deserves for just like not having a fear chip. He doesn't have a fear chip.
That's because he got rid of all the thetans things. He's ascending.
Like, look at this. Can you see? Look at this. Who did this? This is him on the side of a plane, you guys. Speaking of planes,
American Airline. That's how they fly now.
Right. It's just like he's just like, I'll be on the outside. It's fine. I'll be on the. That is him. Okay. Yeah. Like he has never won an Oscar. Okay. He's gotten like some Critics' Choice and some Golden Globes and stuff like that, but he deserves an Oscar.
He's the last movie star on earth.
It's insane what he does.
There's no other movie star. There's a lot of people who are in movies, but there is no other movie star. He is the last one on earth. And you could say, well, we've got so-and-so's big and said, no, he's the last one where, you know, when he goes somewhere, they'll stop the streets down. When he goes somewhere, it's like the Beatles. There's even with Brad Pitt and a bunch of other, it's never like that. He's the last movie star.
Totally. Listen, he's a complete nut job. He is. He's an absolute nut job, but he's great at what he does. I mean, so I'm just giving him props because, like, did you see that where he rode the motorcycle off the side of the mountain and like parachute? Yeah, he was like parachuting, and they're like, take 7. I mean, he did it like.
I think he does those things on purpose so he can do them again and again. He's an adrenaline junkie.
He's he is insane, completely insane. Anyways, I just needed to point that out because that movie's coming out and that guy, loon, he's missing a fear chip. It's crazy. Okay. The House has passed the joint budget resolution. They narrowly passed this. Okay. They passed the Senate budget resolution, which allows them to move forward in drafting a bill, which is always kind of weird to me. It's like we're passing a resolution to pass a bill, but okay. We're
passing a pretend bill so we can make a regular bill so we can try to pass that thing later.
Yeah, it's like so government. It was 216 to 214, which is way too close. Trump tweeted about it. We have his tweet. If we want to put that up on the screen, he said, "Congratulations to the House on the passage of a bill that sets the stage for one of the greatest and most important signings in the history of our country. Among many other things, it will be the largest tax and regulation cuts ever even contemplated. Make America great again." And this is from his Truth Social. And cue the fearmongers on the left to tell everybody that they're losing Medicaid and that this is just tax cuts for the rich, which is what they're saying when, you know, the left is the rich now. But this is what they're doing. It's all over X. And then Jasmine Crockett tweeted about it, of course, because she is the darling of the left. And she said, Republicans just passed a budget that guts Medicaid, SNAP, veterans benefits, and free school lunches. They swore they'd fix the economy, but this sure as hell ain't it.
This ain't it.
It ain't it. Yeah. So in reality, the budget does go after fraud and waste. It's kind of in line with all the DOGE stuff and you know, fraud and waste in Medicaid, so that criminals don't steal benefits. That's kind of what they're trying to do.
Which is a really good thing. This whole thought of, well, I know there's a lot of, you know, there's waste, fraud, and abuse, but if some of it falls through the cracks, it's not a big deal. Just don't touch people's stuff. Well, can we make it better? Like, nobody ever comes out and says, hey, you know, making it better is not a bad thing. Making it easier to use is not a bad thing. Getting rid of waste is not a bad thing. And the Republicans, and you know this, they're horrible at messaging.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, they are.
Right.
They're horrible at messaging. They need to have a person who's like, who is there? Like that person that, what was that movie with Heath Ledger, The Knight's Tale or whatever? You need that Geoffrey Chaucer type to come out and deliver the message so the world goes, oh, okay, I get it now.
Right. Yeah. I think we're getting a little bit better, though. We're getting a little better only because stuff like Elon buying X and us being able to have, you know, an open forum, a free open forum on places
that
like
is you and I and everybody else talking about stuff. The person who delivers the message isn't great at it.
That's true. Like the
Mike
legacy.
Johnson. Oh, I love Mike, but my goodness, I don't even think that's his real name. I think it's a fake name. I feel like he's
you think it's like Ronald?
Yeah.
It's like Ronald Dweebster or something.
But it's like, are you in witness protection? Is that the name they gave you? Mike Johnson? But he just doesn't, we're not going to cut Medicaid. We're like, okay. Oh, cut from the same cloth as Ron DeSantis.
Yeah. But the thing is, liberals are, no matter what happens, even if there are unbelievable cuts and people feel it, they're not going to internalize it. They're going to still say, oh my God, they're a bunch of rich people. They're cutting this, they're cutting that. They're going to engage in fear mongering. They're going to engage in, because they are so riddled with TDS and EDS at this point, because it's Elon derangement syndrome now.
Oh yeah,
that they're going to just continue. That is their messaging. You're right. But listen, we talked about this back in 2014. We've been talking about how we have always been on rather than the offense for messaging, we usually stay on the defense. And so we don't serve it up. We respond to messaging. And you're right. We probably should be more on the offense than the defense. But they're grifters. I mean, the grifters are going to grift, right? They're going to fearmonger and they're going to grift, and they're doing the same thing when it comes to fearmongering about the economy as they are with this martial law thing. They're doing that now. This is the most bizarre thing, but that was trending yesterday on Twitter. We're going to talk about that in a second. Martial law is everywhere. They're talking about how Trump wants to implement martial law. We're going to talk about that in a second. But first, I want to remind you guys how awesome my drop dead. Are they drop dead? Is that what they're called? Drop dead roses? I think that's what they're called. I have roses. knockout. They're called knockout roses. That's
Drop
what they're
dead
called.
roses.
Drop dead. Call them
Check it
drop
out.
dead.
Kill you really quick roses.
They're drop dead gorgeous. Look
They
at
are.
them. I didn't do anything. You guys, I don't know the first thing about gardening at all. I don't want to know anything about gardening. I just want to get online and I want to tell fast growing trees that I want pretty flowers in my backyard. Here's my growing zone. And then they're like, here's what will grow under the hot, hellish Texas sun. And this is what they sent me. And I just literally put these in the ground and I don't do anything to them. Look at them. They're stunning, right? I showed them to you on Monday, but listen, I have to show them to you again because they're awesome. And I don't even pretend how to garden. I just put those and yuccas in my yard. They look amazing. Forget nurseries, forget messing up your car. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to order online and your plants are delivered right to your door. You put them in the ground, no muss, no fuss. They're going to give you advice. Like if you want to call them and be like, hey, I need to understand about my soil type and landscape design and all this other stuff, they will help you with that. So this spring, get up to 50% off select plants at fastgrowingtrees.com/chicks. Plus use code chicks at checkout for an extra 15% off your first purchase. Do it today. Visit fastgrowingtrees.com/chicks. Use code chicks. Now is the perfect time to plant. Do it. So martial law was trending yesterday, but here's the funniest part is it was trending as Marshall, MARSHALL law. Like they can't even spell it because the Department of Education has completely failed us. But this is the new fear mongering from the left. It started a few days back when he was, doing all when the tariff strategy came out, everything came out. And they think that he is going to implement this tariff strategy to the point where chaos will be sown. And he's gonna be like, well, chaos is too big, so I'm gonna go ahead and just implement martial law like this. It's out of control. It's crazy. So here's Joy Behar spinning this absolutely insane theory.
A great time to buy. The other theory is from James Carville, which I think is interesting, that he wants to stoke such instability and chaos to consolidate power for himself so that people start to really go nuts, which we're starting to.
No, we're not.
Well, people are starting to get mad.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You want them to get mad.
But how mad will people get, and how broke will people get, and how many jobs will be lost? And then he can say, well, there's too much chaos, and now we're going to have martial law in this country, and he becomes a dictator. I mean, I don't know. That may be out of the bounds.
Anything is possible.
But it's possible. Yeah. So somebody watching the news, that's what I see.
I'm going to be honest, though. The poor and the rich alike are losing money. Elon Musk might.
Yeah. So there's the initial, like, he's going to implement martial law. And then people just ran with that. But is she like a member of the Pink Ladies in that jacket? Like, what is that jacket?
I have Pinky Tuscadero.
You're right.
I have no idea. Like, really? Is that what you think is going to happen? I mean, this thought is I tell people on the left that, and yes, there are MAGA people out there who will do anything he asks, which is embarrassing and it's cult-like. But 99% of people are like, no, that's not going to happen.
It's not.
And Republicans are like, we wouldn't allow that to happen.
It's just all they're doing. It's the same stuff about like, oh my God, Medicaid's going away, and he's going to get rid of Social Security. It goes along those lines. It's exactly in that same camp. Martial law? Are you kidding me? Like here's some pink-haired chick who's asking everybody for life advice in lieu of this theory.
Martial law on April 20th, which is the rumor. We're in deep doo-doo. I'm terrified. This is absolutely terrifying. As a woman, as an American, is this The Handmaid's Tale?
Oh
this martial law would surpass all police. How terrifying. Like, what do I need to do as a woman to prepare? Help me. Help me help others. I'm so freaking nervous. I hate him. I hate the orange clown.
It's like, first get rid of the pink in your hair.
I just want to, like, are you, like, do you really think that's going to happen? I mean,
he does.
That to me is I'm always fascinated, like the mindset of a person like that, where you would get so lost in the echo chamber
Right.
that you really think that on, 420, yeah, man, 420, that's
420.
going to happen. Like, that's the best it is. Trump's like, they're all going to be high. It'll be easy.
Right. Right. So that's the thing. They have a date for it. So it's on the 20th of this month, which is 9 days away. Right. So they've given their psychosis a day. That's what's happening. And this dude is telling liberals to bury their guns. Listen to this.
April 20th, Trump will declare martial law, which effectively means the military takes over for the police. Free speech becomes illegal. Protests become illegal. You have to have the permission of the military to do anything. And worse than that, the commander-in-chief, Trump, can do basically anything he wants. Literally. Okay? We may be looking at the end of American democracy, and we have 13 days left. Okay, here's my point.
I can't.
Please prepare your family for the worst. The other rumor is that they're going to seize all the guns. So if you have a gun, you want to keep it, you might want to bury it in your backyard. Stock up on food. Please stop spending money you don't have to spend. You may need it. Okay, if he shuts everything down, you're going to need some cash. You're going to need something. Okay, please prepare your family for the worst.
I look at that and I think to myself, okay, the 23-year-old, nursing assistant with pink hair. I get, you're a grown ass man.
Right?
And
I know.
Do you think that the people who support Trump are going to be like, here, take my gun? Hell no.
I know. And like liberals have guns. Do liberals have guns?
That one guy. Well, yeah, because I'm assuming that lady from Weezer, the Weezer wife lady, I'm sure she had a gun.
That's right. That's right. I was going to talk about that today. And I was like, do any of our people even know
Oh my
who
God.
Weezer
It is the wackiest story.
What in the world is going on with that?
It is crazy.
She was a big time. She was into like firing range. She was a shooter, big time gun advocate. Yeah.
And I've seen the video. She shot at the cops.
What is she doing?
Then they shot her and she went back in the house.
Right. There wasn't like babysitter outside with her.
Yeah, she came out with a babysitter and a kid and stuff. And what the heck? And their husband's like, thank you for all your well wishes. We look forward to seeing you guys at Coachella this weekend.
Well,
ooh, I look just like Buddy Holly.
The craziest. Just the craziest story. Yeah. So these people are burying their guns in the backyard, you guys, waiting for like Armageddon on the 20th. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Don't you think that after the 20th, when nothing happens, that pink-haired lady will be like, maybe I should think about veering to the right?
They remind me of, remember, when we were younger back in the day when they didn't have the internet, but those prophecy people, the end of the world, they would have put those billboards up and they'd wait for the end and it would never come. It's like, I must have just got my math wrong. Mm-hmm. And that's eventually you stop following that, you would think. Yeah.
Or anybody who believes in all the climate change bullshit. Every single thing that they remember, like acid rain. Remember everything that they've said that's going to happen. And we're all going to die in 8 years.
Time Magazine, 1980, right. Where it's the coming of a new ice age.
Yeah, we're all still alive, and it's nothing. None of that Al Gore, AOC. We're all still alive.
Greta Thunberg. How dare you?
How dare you? We're all still alive, and they've all told us we're all going to die. And you think that people who followed these morons, these people who stand on a pillar and scream to them, they're all going to die. You think they'd be like, wait a second, you told me I was going to die. And so you lied to me. Why did you lie to me? Why did you do that?
And this is what I like on my show. I talk about this all the time. It's frustrating because you need to think for yourself. You need to do the research and you need to hold people accountable if they lie to you and say, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. Because you lied to me. It's different than, if you think, because we don't have all of the answers because we don't even have all of the stuff a lot of times. But, you try to put a snapshot together of something. But if you're lying to people straight out and you continue to give them opportunities to, lie to you again and again, that's a you problem.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the host monkey for this lie is Joy. Is Joy Behar. So when this doesn't come to fruition, she needs to be held accountable. She does. And meanwhile, in reality, Meanwhile, back in reality, DOGE and the Secretary of Labor have uncovered over $400 million in unemployment insurance fraud. You guys check this out.
That trust needs to be whole for the American people. When we need it for who deserves it. That's not what we're seeing. And the numbers that we saw last night, again, exposed by our partners at DOGE, at the Department of Labor. Since 2020, over $400 million of payments have gone out already. And when you hear these numbers, apparently in the United States, we have over almost 25,000 people who are over 115 years old who are collecting $59 million that we have sent out to people. Talk about fraudulent behavior. Mr. President, 28,000 people between 1 and 5 years old have collected fraudulent payments at the tune of $254 million has gone out. And lastly, 10,000 people who have not been born yet, 15 years into the future, $69 million, and they haven't even been born yet. When one case, they will be born 129 years from now. The United States government sent them $41,000.
I just can't.
2154, that person would be born.
Yeah, this is what they're fighting against. They're fighting against this. And why? Because of hate, or is it because they think that $400 million isn't a lot of money and they're like, it's no big deal. It's just $400 million. Is that what they think?
Yeah. You read the articles and say, well, these figures are substantial. Experts suggest they may represent only a fraction. So what?
Yeah. I mean, that's
what?
I think that's how they rationalize. They rationalize because they're like, I mean, it's really not that much. Like if it's only like $1 million here and $1 million there, what do we care? I care. It's my freaking money. I think of like $400 million. I can't even wrap my brain around that much money. I can't. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around $1 million. And so $400 million is a lot of freaking money to me.
Especially when you add all these things up.
Right.
And, it's different. Like, with the Social Security, they talked about all these people are old. Yeah. But none of those, when you go and look, none of those people really, they didn't receive anything. They were just there because that was such an antiquated system. No, these are actually stuff that's been paid out. This is totally different.
Right.
Like this is, what are we doing? First of all, how do you, 2154 is not a good year apparently for employment. But how do you give unemployment how does that even work? I mean, come on. We've all known people in the past who've played the unemployment game. I mean, I've known several of my buddies like, dude, I'm totally on unemployment. I'm like, and I'm working under the table and I'm doing this. We've known people that have kind of jobbed the system. So let's not pretend we didn't.
Like disability and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But 2154, my God.
Yeah. It's like Becky asked the question. I want to know who is receiving these payments. It's a great question, Becky, because somebody's receiving them. Somebody's cashing the check. A lot of people are cashing these checks.
It'd be hard to find.
Well, that's the thing. Follow the money. Just follow the money.
Know what? I bet you most of them are probably somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Oh my God, that is so infuriating. But really? You don't think they're here in the States?
I bet you a vast majority of them are in Eastern Europe.
It's just so
somewhere
infuriating.
Like the COVID, when all those people got COVID money and you found out a vast majority of them weren't in this country.
I mean, if they're here, we need to hold them accountable.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. And also, where's the accountability with the people that work there and go, 2154, doing the math,
right?
We're not even there yet. Like, there's no computer program that goes, hey guys, this is the date's wrong. Like, if I screw up putting my birth date in on something, it tells me you can't go forward.
Right.
Apparently, you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's completely nuts. It is but this is what they're fighting against. This is what they don't want to happen. They don't want to save money. They don't want fraud to be pointed out. They don't want us to have, any accountability for waste or abuse or any of that kind of stuff. They want us to keep doing that. It's insane, completely insane. Okay, so we have a couple Rogan clips. One is a clip of Joe Rogan addressing the left's obsession with paying more taxes and not cutting waste. And I think there's some curse words in this because Joe Rogan, but you guys have been warned.
Really crazy to me is when people say the rich should pay more taxes. Okay, fine. But where do you think that's going? Where's that going? Where's the money going? Is the money going to the federal government? Do you think they're good at it? Do you think they're good at managing your money? Have you paid attention to all the shit Elon's fucking uncovered? 37% is when you make over $609,000 a year. That's you, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, that's me last month.
This is the thing. It's like, I'm happy to pay tax if I thought that they were doing a great job. But it's just you are being strong-armed into giving money to people that do a really shitty job of protecting your money and investing it in the country. It's a lot of it is going to bureaucracy and bullshit and a bunch of things that you don't have any say in. If you could like opt out of it, if you could like imagine if you like pick what you know, if you had like a whole tax sheet, would you like your money to go to? Would you like your money to go to overthrowing governments? No. Like, what if the federal government's budget was entirely based on the will of the people? Like, you get to choose. Like, how much of your money you want to put into drone strikes in Yemen? I say I don't want zero of my money going to.
Wouldn't that be amazing if it was based on the will of the people?
Years. And you know what? It would be a great study, and also for the government going, hey, you know what? It may be a surprise. We want a strong, powerful military, but, you know, we don't want a lot of this other crap. We don't want, you know, you may find some people say, no, I don't want Medicare and Medicaid. You may find people who say, if you gave the people the opportunity, I think the people would surprise what government thinks they want their money to go to.
Yep. And if we can actually control it, like in real time, I want my money to go here, but not here.
Yeah.
God, I would love that. It would be great because it's true. Listen, taxes are inevitable, just like death. We know that. So, but if I could just figure out a way to tell them, I want my taxes here, but not over here, it would be amazing. That's why I just love that clip. I thought that was a great clip. Also, you guys, Rogan had on Douglas Murray. There's a lot of clips floating around X. He's so good.
He and Dave Smith, they
right. And people are saying that Dave Smith was sort of like a buffer for him because Douglas Murray ended up sort of interviewing Joe Rogan.
And he kind of hammered Joe Rogan as well.
He did. He really did about the Israel stuff. He did. It is a good interview. If you get a chance, go watch it. There's a lot of clips on X you can find. But I just have one clip. It's very, very short. And it kind of goes back to how I feel. I feel very seen on this because it's kind of how I feel about libertarians and or independents. And I love this clip. You guys check it out.
Broadly speaking, and I'm sort of funny about libertarians. I'm never quite sure. I always say I think libertarians are essentially the bisexuals of politics. They should just choose, Joe. They should choose. It's kind of, they just want everything at the buffet.
That's very funny.
Well, I think we want some things. I don't know. Okay, that's a weird way to put it, but I get
see your point.
I love that so much.
He stole my line.
I love it. He was kind of uncomfortable. He's like, oh, that's a weird way to put it. That's actually a great way to put it.
I've used that forever.
Isn't it great?
It's the non-binaries of, you know, it's like one day I'm feeling very Republican. The next day I'm feeling kind of, Democrat.
You're non-committal. Just pick a lane. God, I hate it. Like, this is the thing. People here will say, I'm independent. It's like, okay, you're a bisexual then.
You know, libertarians are an odd bunch because you have very left-leaning libertarians and you have very right-leaning libertarians, and they fight amongst themselves because, you know, it's never enough freedom, or we've got to have a little bit of this and you're not really part of the club. It's kind of like crypto can get sometimes.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's no true independent because we don't have a third or fourth party. So you have to choose this. You just don't want to make that choice until the end is really what it is.
They say, I think that they want to be nonconformist, but in nonconforming, they're conforming. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, you have no choice. The problem is you have no choice. And we have a system that's like, it's Coke and Pepsi got together and said, all right, it's between you and I. Let's not let anybody else in this game. We'll do everything we can to make sure it's just between you and I. So that way we're always winning, one of us.
Right.
So, and it's frustrating because it's just, we don't have, I would love to see great independent people who come in who, to me, independent is I'm not beholden to a party, or I may have an ideology, but I'm not beholden to the donors. I want what's best for America. I'm not here forever. I'm here for a finite amount of time in politics to do the right thing for America and leave.
I think you can say that you're a conservative and a Republican without being beholden to anybody.
Not anymore.
Really? Because I mean, I feel that way. I'm like, I'm a conservative and I'm a Republican, but nobody owns me.
But but think about
I still have free will.
But think of the world of politics, though. Everybody's tribal, right? So if you say something wrong, you know this. You say one thing wrong, you're out of the tribe, right? I mean, how many times have you come out and said, I'm not really a fan of what Trump did there, and 5,000 MAGA people come after you? You're out of the tribe.
It's true.
But think about it from a political point of view. If you're a politician, you can't. Very few will go up against Trump or even say anything outside of Thomas Massey.
Yeah.
And what happens? We're going to kick you out of the tribe. We're going to primary you.
I hear what you're saying. But as an individual that's not in politics, like we just do what we do, or just a person walking around, I don't feel like I'm beholden to anybody, like as just a citizen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always tell everybody I'm a Ronin when it comes to politics. Ronin is a samurai who doesn't have a master. They just wander.
There you go. Yeah.
You should be Ronins.
Bisexual Ronins. There you go. Okay, so what the hell's going on in New York, you guys? I got to bring up the story because there are a lot of stories I don't want to talk about, but this story, I mean, come on, New York is so borked.
It's so borked.
It's so borked, and our team has repeatedly asked us, Mock and I, to go to New York for several things, right? And I do not like that place. We've been to New York maybe 4 or 5 times for various things. It smells like urine. It's scary. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I'm a Texas girl through and through. I do not like how everything is so, like, you sit in a restaurant and you're like next to the person, you're like this next to the person. I am just not a fan of New York City. If you like it, that's great. Good for you. Your mileage may vary. I am just not a New York City kind of gal. And then I see stuff like this and I'm like, what is going on there? Because apparently they're on the lookout for some lunatic who sexually abused a male corpse on the subway. And I have questions.
There's a lot of things going on in this. First of all, why is a male corpse on a subway?
Right.
And then at what point do you go, you know what? Kind of hot.
What? This is like, does the subway ever get cleaned? Like,
no.
Do people just step over corpses on the subway? Like, what? I don't even know what's going on. I think we have a news report about this. Oh, we don't. We don't have a news report. That's just the guy. That's the guy they're looking for. There's no news report. That's the guy they're looking for.
He looks like a guy that would molest a corpse.
A corpse. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's what's happening. They're looking for that guy. That's the lunatic who, that's New York City, you guys. That's
the Big Apple.
What is going on in New York?
Who are you people?
This is why I won't go. So the next time our team asks us, hey, why don't you chicks go to New York City? I'm just going to show them that picture and be like, this is why. This is why we're not going to New York City. This right here. Okay. We have a lot of education stories to get to, a lot of them. But we still, we also have to get to we have a Facebook whistleblower story too. I know that you guys have probably read a little bit about that. But first I have to tell you about Field of Greens really quick. I know that we have a lot to look forward to when it comes to health with this administration, but our confidence in health in America has hit a 24-year low. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those proactive people with my health. I don't like to rely on doctors and all these other people to make sure that I'm living a healthy life. And so I'm all about Field of Greens because I do not eat enough fruits and vegetables. I don't. Guilty. It tastes good. It's super convenient. I incorporate Field of Greens in my water bottle every single day as part of my daily routine. It is the easiest way to get whole fruits and veggies. And that's all it is. I even replace like my afternoon pick-me-up coffee with Field of Greens. It's so yummy, you guys. It's just a way better choice for me. So your doctor is going to notice a difference at your next checkup or your money back. That is their guarantee. Use code CHICKS at checkout at fogchicks.com to save 20% off your first order. Your doctor is going to notice improved health or your money back, you guys. Use code CHICKS, fogchicks.com to save 20% off your first order. Get the nutrition that you need at fogchicks.com. Promo code CHICKS. Okay, some education stories. First off, follow up on the Texas high school murder story that we talked about on Monday and we talked about last week as well. I just think this is absurd, but the Give, Send, Go page for Carmelo Anthony, who is the killer, has received $318,312 for his legal defense as of yesterday, 3:00 yesterday. And he doesn't deny killing Austin Metcalf. And he said, it's not alleged. I did it. He claims he acted in self-defense, though. But the most disturbing thing about this is that his Give, Send, Go has raised more money than Austin's.
That's just, who are we? Right? Like, how do we get here? How did we get here?
Right. Who are we indeed? So the boys, just to point out, because there's a lot of like just crap that's online about this whole thing.
Just blatant lies. People are crafting their own stories of, Austin called him the N-word and told him, it's like, in some parts of the interweb, he walked into a tent of Klansmen.
Right. I agree. It's absolute fiction what you see online. But these boys had never met each other.
Yeah.
I mean, they had never seen each other before. And that
so there was no beef.
No beef. There was no beef. And I don't understand humanity, man. We are just warped. So that has happened. Also, there is an Ohio high school counselor. It was a private all-boys school. She admits to sexually abusing a student in her office, and she blames her husband for neglecting her.
She's kind of hot too.
She's not hot, but I mean, her husband's divorcing her, right? She's facing up to 10 years in prison, and her husband, Jonathan, is filing for divorce, but she blames
him. She's a victim in this story. I was so neglected by my husband that I had to go elsewhere. Oh, so wait, you cheated on your husband with a boy, and now you're blaming your husband for the fact that you cheated and committed a crime. Wow. And that you're living with that.
Total hack. She's a total hack. You guys, we have a news story. Check this out.
Emily Nutley went from the director of academic services at St. X High School to a convicted felon now facing prison time.
And how would you describe your work career? Long, successful.
Her 18-year career came to an end last year after she was indicted on sexual battery charges.
During her employment, specifically on November 19th and December 8th of 2023, she engaged in sexual conduct with a student of hers. The student was a 17-year-old male.
Today, for the first time publicly, Nutley admitted to the accusations.
Did you engage in sexual conduct with a 17-year-old male on those two dates? Yes. Each of those are a felony in the third degree. How do you plead as to those two counts?
Investigators say Nutley had been helping the teen with schoolwork, then began having contact with him outside of school hours. They say Nutley sent the teen nude photos and sexually explicit messages, then began to have a sexual relationship with the teen, both on and off school property. Today, Judge Jennifer Branch accepted Nutley's change of plea and convicted her of the two felonies.
Do you agree to accept whatever penalty I impose up to the maximum allowed by law? Yes, Your Honor.
And Nutley will be sentenced June 10th. She faces anywhere from probation up to a maximum of 10 years in prison. She will also have to register as a sex offender. Reporting live.
Okay, so she worked there for 18 years. She had an 18-year career. She's 43 years old, and then she does this. Like, what?
Well, because of her husband.
Oh, it's obviously because of, I mean, what can
he
you
wasn't
even
knocking it out the park the way he should have been, and so she had to go elsewhere to get some.
What?
I wonder how they found out.
I think the boy actually, he wanted to cut it off, and then she kept contacting him via text messaging. So the boy was the one that's like, I don't like this. This is not good. And then she was like, oh, but I mean, it's fine, kind of a thing. So she's a complete lunatic. She's gross. She's a pedo. So I read that nearly 350 K through 12 educators were arrested on child sex crimes in 2022 alone. And 75% of those arrests involved alleged crimes against students. So we've got a problem with that in our schools. We do. And it's not just men like doing that to girls. It's a lot of women, these women get into teaching and do it to boys. So
it's a weird thing because if a guy does that to a girl, the outrage is if a woman like that does that to a boy, they're like, dude, why'd that guy cut that off?
Right. You should see the comments. There's a lot of comments
Well,
like
I
that.
mean, if I'm 17, I never had a teacher like that. We talk about this once a week. There's somewhere like I never had a teacher. The best looking teacher I had, her name was Mrs. Price, and she weren't, she was all right, but she wasn't all right.
Right. She wore orthopedic shoes. Hello.
I think they came out old.
Right.
In my day. How they come out like strippers.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I know. So, and shame on her for blaming her husband.
Yeah, that's
Come on. What a hag. So that happened. All right. We got to talk about Parker Jensen. This story you sent to me yesterday enrages me. Okay. Let's just listen to the news story about it first, and then we'll talk about it.
Yes, sir. A senior and prospective U.S. Marine.
Yes, sir.
Noticed something that concerned him at his high school that violates state law.
So I'm only in 2 classes, but both of my classes do not have American flags.
Jensen took his concerns to the Baltimore County Board of Education.
I was looking to speak to a supervisor of some sort that regulates Baltimore County public schools.
Instead of speaking with someone,
3 cop cars for a kid.
The school system called the police and suspended him for 7 days.
You're actually suspended from the school. He used to be with this in the club.
Now,
do you believe Jensen's constitutional rights were violated?
Absolutely.
He has hired an attorney to fight back.
He did nothing wrong besides try to bring forth his First Amendment right and really enforce a Maryland law, which is to have American flags in every single classroom.
Parker Jensen is his name. Parker Jensen.
I
remember that.
I don't get the suspending and calling the police.
Mm-hmm. For 7 days. He was suspended for 7 days.
Why can't you just go, you know what? Let me look in that, man. It could just be, we took him down. We forgot to put him up or something like, and instead you turned it into something where now conservative America is coming for you. Know this.
Yeah,
conservative America is going to get this story and it is going to become big and it's going to blow up. This kid's going to be everywhere, and which is good for him that he took this upon himself. I don't think he was going there to make some sort of chaotic point.
No.
He just wanted to ask a question, and now you suspended him and you called the cops.
Yeah. Since when can you not ask questions at a school? And then
come on. That kid seems like he should be your poster boy. I don't know if you're aware of Baltimore, but you guys aren't the smartest.
Right. Exactly. And since when can you not ask a question about the American flag? I guarantee you there are probably 18 other flags flying at that school that have nothing to do with America.
No, for sure.
And I don't even know what they are. They're just like trans this and buy that and whatever.
The Skittles flag over here.
Yeah. The Skittles flag is totally up. And he's just asking about the American flag. And he gets suspended for 7 days? Like, what the hell?
And he can't go to prom.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
That's the other thing. He can't go to prom, and he's already signed up for the Marines because he's 18. So he's going to go into the military immediately. And he's signed up for the Marines. And he's only got 2 classes. And he wanted to go to the prom, which is next month. And now because of the suspension, he can't unless they drop it. On top of that, if he decides to go to college, the suspension will hit his transcripts.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder what he's going to do with all the money he gets from the settlement, because he's going to win this.
No, they're going to settle out of court and drop his. They're trying to get to court as fast as possible because he really wants to go to prom.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I have fun with all that money. Hope it pays for like a really good degree and a nice new car and everything, and a down payment on a condo. Good luck with that, because he's going to win.
Yeah.
They are absolute morons for doing this. Yeah. Morons.
He wasn't going there to start a fight. He was going there to ask a question.
Yeah. 7 days. Can you guys believe this crap? Again, totally ridiculous. Okay. Speaking of education, ex-high school teacher and ex-coach Tim Walz is lying again. We have a clip of that. Behold.
Truly okay with Elon Musk getting rid of Social Security? Stand here and defend it. If you're really okay with people who are in this country legally working on advanced degrees in our colleges being snatched up and shipped out illegally, then come here and say that. If you're really okay and voted for getting rid of the Department of Education and putting families and children like mine who depend on IEPs to get the best education, then stand here and defend it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Individual education plans are not going away. They're not. If education is going to the states, that's just not. It makes more sense for an IEP to be made at the local level anyway.
90% of funding already comes from your state.
This is the thing. He's a total liar. This is more fear mongering and more lying. And
somebody would have stood up and said, you know what? What part of Social Security is going away? You're saying that, but I would like to see the proof.
Exactly. And he's constantly saying that Elon doesn't pay his taxes. Elon paid $11 billion back in 2019 or something. Yeah. I don't understand this fascination with him not paying taxes. And I wish Elon would sue him for defamation at this point. I'm kind of getting sick of that. So I hate liars. And he's lying. He's totally lying. Okay, we have to talk about Meta, the whistleblower at Meta, because you guys, there's some Zuckerberg China stuff happening. Before I do that, I need to remind you that it is towel and sheet and pillow time at My Pillow. They are the OG of our sponsors, you guys. We love every single thing that they sell. Every bed in my house has My Pillows. In my cabin has My Pillow pillows, and we have the towels. The towels are the best on the planet. And right now you can get wholesale prices on their Giza Dream and Percale sheets. Just visit mypillow.com/chicks. Use promo code chicks. The Giza sheets are super soft. They have like that silky feel. And the queen size, normally $139.98 or just $69.99. The king size are $79.99. And the Percale are for hot sleepers. That's me. My husband says that I'm going to internally combust in the bed. That's how I'm going to perish one of these days. Yeah, that's how I'm going. Queen size normally $89.98, and now they're only $29.98, and the king sizes, they're only $34.98. So once they're gone, they're gone. Visit mypillow.com/chicks. Use promo code chicks. Grab these amazing wholesale deals. That's mypillow.com/chicks. Promo code chicks. Okay, so there is a chick named Sarah Wynne Williams, who is Facebook's former director of global public policy. She is now a whistleblower. I believe that she's written a book. Yes, she wrote a memoir, Careless People. And she's testified that she witnessed Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg and other executives lie to Congress. And they repeatedly undermined U.S. national security and betrayed American values. And basically, they're working with China to help China develop all of this AI technology. China. So she dropped some bombshells. She worked at Facebook between 2011 and 2017, and she testified to the Senate Judiciary Committee on Crime and Counterterrorism that basically Meta employees worked hand in glove with officials in Beijing to build an $18 billion business in China. I cannot stand Glee Borgnine. I think he's a liar. I just don't like him. I just think this is really interesting that she did this. Here's a clip from her.
It's a whistleblower, but a longtime executive at Facebook.
I am here at considerable personal risk because you have the power and the authority to hold them accountable.
She worked directly with Mark Zuckerberg. She was a part of the Facebook brass. Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg have lied to the American people repeatedly. $50,000 every time she mentions Facebook in public. They are attempting to destroy her reputation. And I think the question is why?
I sit before this committee today to set the record straight about these illegal and dangerous activities.
They're willing to build data centers, store data in China. They are willing explicitly to give the Chinese government access to it. And if that means that American user data is also compromised, they're willing to do that too. All for profits in China. There was virtually nothing they weren't willing to do. Have you ever known Mark Zuckerberg to censor on behalf of China?
One thing the Chinese Communist Party and Mark Zuckerberg share is that they want to silence their critics.
Did Facebook actually brief members of the CCP on artificial intelligence, to your knowledge?
Yes, Senator. We are engaged in a high-stakes AI arms race. China is developing AI models for military use, relying on Meta's Llama model.
Do you buy this latest reinvention of Mark Zuckerberg?
This is a man who wears many different costumes. I have a lot of questions for Mark Zuckerberg, but he has proven that you cannot believe his answers. He's lied to members of Congress, he's lied to his employees, and he's lied to Americans.
I have a message to Mark Zuckerberg as well. It's time for you to tell the truth. You should come to this committee and take an oath and answer this evidence. Stop.
Yeah. So
take an oath. Every time he speaks, he will not do it under oath.
Yeah. He is an alien from Gleeborg 9.
Gleeborg 9. That's why we have Elon, so Elon can battle him.
Well, I find it really interesting that Elon, speaking of Elon gets demonized, but then Zuckerberg is a darling of the left, you know? Don't you find that interesting? And
they hated, remember when they hated him in 2016? They blamed him for Trump being elected. Then he threw money at a whole bunch of things in 2020, which helped basically bring a bunch of people together and, you know, the cabal, as they called it, to help oust Trump. And then he kind of went a little bit libertarian in the other way towards Trump, but he's nowhere to be found. Remember, because he just disappears. Elon's fine being up there saying, I'm going to do this, this, and this. You could never see Zuckerberg do that. Zuckerberg doesn't like the limelight. If you're going to be from Gleeborg 9, you want to blend in.
Yeah. Well, he tried to do the whole, you know, I'm all about free speech now, and things are going to be different, and Facebook's going to be different. And I just think he's full of shit. I think he is. I think he's a chameleon. He wants to, whoever is in charge, he wants to kind of suck up to that person. And that is, we talked about that a little bit when he was doing all of that garbage. And he just, I don't know. It's you want to be positive and think, okay, well, maybe he's doing it for the right reasons. I don't think he's doing anything for the right reasons.
I think he would let anything go. I don't think he wants to do the politics. I think he just wants to run his companies and be left alone and not be sucked into things.
I think he
because he's part of Gleeborg 9.
Yeah, I think he actually has been sucked into politics, and I think a lot of that is communist politics, and I think he is on the wrong side of politics. And so I've despised him since he started suppressing us back in 2018, 2019.
How many times were you guys suspended?
Oh my God, I can't believe we're still standing.
Yeah,
like
me
that.
Neither.
So many people around us, you know, Mock and I are in awe sometimes that we're even still able to do what we do, because he destroyed so many of the people that were sort of the OGs in the space that we were in, you know, back in the day. And when we started our website back in 2008, 2009. And when we got on Facebook, we got on Facebook in 2009. The suppression started, 4 or 5 years later. Yeah. And it was harsh. I mean, it was like our reach was nothing. We have 1.5 million followers on Facebook, but it's as if 30,000 people could see us. I mean, it was bad.
We'd get suspended. We have to suspend you for what? For posting the picture.
Right. Why? And we saw people we saw conservatives get completely destroyed, and it's because of him. It's totally him. So I don't have any respect for him at all. Cause I think in the back, he's always been a liberal. He's always been a commie. And I just think this is where and I think he's starting to be exposed, because I believe that truth always prevails. It always comes out. It may take a while. Karma's a biatch, and you just have to wait for it. And I think that we're starting to see that happen. Now, what will happen to him?
Nothing.
Nothing. Probably nothing will happen.
Nothing. If J.D. Vance ends up running and he wins, he'll kiss up to him. If it's somebody else on the left and they win, they'll kiss up to him, because it's still about the money and the power. So that's how he makes himself a chameleon.
Yeah. And he also, did you know that he kills goats in his backyard?
I was unaware.
You remember that? Do you remember that?
I remember.
Have you ever heard that story?
Right? Wasn't he doing a luau?
And he fed it to the old Twitter dude. What's his name? Is it Jack Dorsey?
Yeah.
Isn't that? Yeah. They had some dinner, and he's like, "Hey, I have this goat. I'm gonna kill in my backyard." Dude is weird. He's an alien. Anyways, he's an alien. All right, so that's happening. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know. It's a pretty neat little video with all the music, and Holly's team did a great job with that, but I don't know what's going to happen. So anyways, I just thought I'd let you guys know that he is in fact a weirdo from Gleeborg 9. We have some crazy mishmash liberal stuff to take you into the weekend. But before we get to it, there is a dude who is the embodiment of liberal smug. You guys check this guy out.
Kamala Harris looks smarter and smarter every single day.
Okay, so the people who voted for Harris and Walz look smarter every single day. Do you agree with that? Do you think they look smarter every single day?
No,
Right.
I don't. But I don't. What?
No.
You said that out loud? You thought sometimes you got to think, should I say this? But you did. There you go.
He got in his car and he put a camera on himself and he pressed record and then he said that and then he put that out to the masses. Probably not a good plan, dude.
No.
Reconsider all the choices that you've made in your life. Okay. This first chick wants you to do your research, you guys, to make sure that you do that because she's super smart. Here goes the liberal montage. You guys ready?
SAVE Act.
Yes. Can you explain? Can you explain to me what the SAVE Act is?
Well, I mean, if you look things up and if people would actually do their research, it is a part of the 2025 agenda that this administration ran on that they denied. But what it amounts to is people really want to. What they really want to do is they want one vote per household. And in order to do that, you have to stop women from voting. And the way that you stop women from voting is that you tell them they have to have 2 forms of ID. Well, you have to have 2 forms of ID, so you have to have a birth certificate.
So it makes it harder.
You have to have a birth certificate, and you have to have a state ID or a driver's license. Well, my last name as a married woman is not going to match. Those items aren't going to match. So my last name on my birth certificate as a married woman is not going to match my driver's license, which means I can be denied the vote.
So how would they be able to fix that problem right there? How would they be able to fix that problem?
Well, they can put wording in there that says that won't matter, but they won't put wording in there. The wording is not there that says that women who are married will be exempt from that match. Okay, it's not in there. Okay. And they keep, and when this is brought up at town halls, they talk over it. They jump over it. They will not answer it directly.
And why is that?
Well, because they don't want to.
That lady, somebody married her.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Somebody married her.
Right? He's super excited.
He hasn't digested a full meal in like 20 years.
Do your homework. All right? Come on, Daisy, do your homework.
Listen,
all right?
I am a married woman, and I understand how to get an ID.
Vote for you. Get your husband in the room. You shouldn't even be talking to us.
This is like saying to somebody that's black, you don't know how to get an ID because you're black.
I love when they do that.
Stop it. I know how to get an ID.
The bigotry of low expectations.
It is just the dumb. I'm sorry that you don't know how to do that, lady. I'm sorry. Figure it out. And if you can't,
they always go to Handmaid's Tale. Every day I say this on the radio. I am still waiting for the net that Trump promised me that I was able to go out. I was able to lasso or net a woman, bring her home, chain her to a stove, make her have babies. I am still waiting for my woman catching net. It is
lasso.
not
I like the lasso visual. You were able to lasso a woman. Mm-hmm. If you can do it.
Handmaid's Tale. Well, I don't like red. Get another color.
Just so stupid. All right. More crazy. Here we go.
Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk. Fear us. We are the masses.
Okay.
You are the 1%. We are the 99%. Think about it.
That guy he just buried his gun in his backyard because he's waiting for martial law
with his front teeth.
Right.
I can't take you serious, sir. I'm still.
I know, right?
My daughter's 6. She's missing teeth. It's the cutest thing in the world.
It's
you're an
so
adult.
Cute. Right.
You're an adult and you're missing teeth. You've made poor life choices.
A lot of poor life choices, indeed. Yeah,
I feel like he's on the spectrum.
He's not scary either. He's not. Why is it?
You guys better watch out because we're coming for you. So we're the 99%. You guys are 1%. You guys better watch out.
It's true. I got nothing. I got nothing better than that. That was the greatest. Yeah, not afraid. Let's keep going, Valen.
I am a woman.
Oh my
and
God.
I used the woman's restroom.
Nope.
And there ain't a damn thing you or Trump or your Republican party's going to do about it.
Straight out kind of like, is that a Cro-Magnon? What is that? What was that?
It's like, do you remember those with the evolution chart where it's like monkey and then it goes up? It's like the fourth one.
It is like the third one. I think you're giving him way too much credit. It was like the third one. Oh my God. That was
just starting to get bipedal.
Right.
I'm a woman and there's nothing you guys can do about it.
Mm-mm. And that thing once in your daughter's locker room.
No.
Thank you, but no.
No. That's a no, sir.
Mm-hmm. Be a big fat no. Yep. All right. We have another one?
Elon Musk. I didn't vote for Trump, but I certainly didn't see Elon Musk's name on there.
I didn't vote for any of these bureaucrats in the government. How do you feel about Dr. Fauci? Fan
I
or
love Dr. Fauci.
did you vote for him?
I didn't vote for him,
Or
but
was he appointed?
actually, yes, he was appointed, but after a career in and being an expert in that field, he
Trump
worked
is-
his way up.
Well, Trump and Elon Musk are some of the most successful businessmen in this country.
Elon Musk appointed? Is he really
Fau-
appointed?
Fauci, yeah, he was
Is he?
by Trump. Yeah.
Okay, so do they are they having to be scrutinized the way any other American government employee would be, like with drug testing?
His boss is the president.
People say we want to run the country like a business.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't go into a business and cut things and not care about how it affects the customer.
Actually,
Well, I think what you would do is, and Elon Musk, I think he is doing this right now. He's running the government kind of like he runs one of his businesses, which are very successful. He's going in and he's saying, where are people not doing an important role? And then he's firing them.
Elon Musk can parallel park a rocket. I feel like he had a little bit of a career. He has one. He still has one. It still exists.
I don't.
Wow.
I don't.
It's
Do you
hard to
think they
argue.
Think about this like on the way out. But no, well, you know what? They're in a rabbit hole. They're in an echo chamber. They've got their sign. They're out there. They're like, oh, yeah, I didn't vote for Elon Musk. Well, I didn't vote for Dr. Fauci. I didn't vote for any of the bureaucrats that you see, even the ones with Trump. I didn't vote for any of I didn't vote for any of these people, but I recognize that's how government works, and I'm fine with that. And you got to take with what you vote for. Voting has consequences, and there's results. And this is the results, lady, and get over it. And you know what? He's been pretty successful. So I'm going to go with him. I want to have people who are like the toothless guy running stuff because he's part of the 99%.
Or Cro-Magnon. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You're like, you know what? He's really successful. Yeah. Well, is that a reason to run? Yeah, that's absolutely a reason to run shit. Who do you want? Like, hey guys, how you doing? I crashed the tow truck. I'm ready to run the government.
Exactly. Well, they would want Cro-Magnon man because he would be the first Cro-Magnon. They'd be able to say it's the first Cro-Magnon.
Yeah, they do like that.
Running. They do love first. So
they
they'd
love
be like,
first.
Look at what we did. Yeah, they'd be super excited about it. I don't know if we have, do we have any more? I don't know if we do, Valen. Was that it? Was that the last one? If there's not, I think that was the last one. Yeah, that was the last one. We took it out with that complete lunatic, you guys. Okay. We have thank yous and super stickers. I think we do from Andrea Viola. COVID was martial law and the peasants obeyed. It's true. You're absolutely right about that, Andrea. Some of us obeyed.
Well, it depends what state you were in. I was in Arizona and I was in Pinal County. We had Sheriff Lamb.
Yeah.
No, we're shutting everything down. He's like, no. And we had Doug Ducey, who was our governor, and he's like, all right, we're going to follow all of these things for the rest of the day. And then we're not going to follow them ever again.
We fled to Texas. Yep.
Amen.
Bo Mama 8. Libs are always bringing the fear mongering. Y2K, 420, Air Fauci, giving us a heads up on the new pandemic they are planning. It's true. Yep. Are we ready? We ready for that, you guys? Marcus Drake. The left wants a civil war, but they want us to start it. That way, we're the bad guys, and it just justifies any action they take. It's a no-win situation for us. We're not going to start it. We're not going to start a civil war.
There's going to be no civil war in this country unless it's on an app.
Right. So true. Oh my gosh, you're so right about that. Yeah. Because I think the generations below us, they're unwilling to get out there and fight.
They don't care. They're not paying attention like that.
So true. Amen to that. Karen Elliott, libertarians, the RC Cola of political parties. Yes.
Kind of.
I like
Royal
RC.
Crown. I love RC Cola.
I like RC Cola too. Yeah. Is that wrong? Am I not supposed to like RC Cola? Yeah, I do like it. You guys, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you to Chad. Chad, you just are so willing to help out in a pinch. We love you so much. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Go find me on YouTube, Chad Benson Show. Go like and subscribe. That really helps me out. And check out my chadbensonshow.com. You can find all my stuff, my Instagram and all that other stuff there. But come check out the YouTube. Appreciate it.
Yes, please do that. Everybody have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Bye, y'all.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.